We are a church that rolls up our sleeves and gets to work. The Episcopal Lutheran Campus Ministry in Whitewater embodies people of God that roll up their sleeves and make a difference in Jesus' name. For more than 200 students every Monday, the campus ministry community is indeed making a difference. When the Episcopal Lutheran Campus Ministry lost their space on campus, the aging parish of St. Luke's Episcopal Church decided to move the ministry and the meals program to the congregation's building. They have fully embraced this ministry, even redecorating to proclaim the message that they're living out, "We feed people." This is a joint ministry, an Episcopal Lutheran campus ministry, led by Father David Huxley.
It's kind of a way of introducing them to a facet of church that they might not be aware of.
Because this is a joint ecumenical ministry with one of our Christian full communion partners, the ELCA congregation in Whitewater, First English Lutheran Church, also has volunteers there every week.
And I think it's a wonderful way that our two faith traditions can share what they have in common, being grace-based, Christ-centered.
I really enjoy what I do, and it's really become a highlight of my week. Pardon me, hot pasta, hot pasta.
Students come not only for a hot meal, but to connect with friends, unwind after a hard day of classes, and re-energize before a long night of studying. It's a safe and comfortable place for them to be.
At my church in Milwaukee, we used to do the same thing, so it's kind of like a home away from home.
We are a church that is deeply rooted and always being made new. Bishop's Convocation is an annual event that gathers together pastors and other rostered leaders of the Synod for education, collegiality, rest and renewal, comfort and challenge, worship and conversation.
You need that time away to refresh and renew and get fed.
The timing for me couldn't be better. Collegiality, but also learning the context, so it's a great time.
It's brought the church together.
Two dynamic speakers joined over 130 leaders of this synod, one of the largest events of this kind on record. These two leaders in the church also spoke at the National Youth Gathering in New Orleans. Their messages roused and inspired an audience of 35,000 youth and adults to standing ovations.
It's really critical to understand why change is needed before we start trying to change. Otherwise, you switch one set of problems for another.
I don't think we're talking about a moment, but a movement, you know, and so it's not just about this weekend, but I think it's what happens after this weekend.
Knowing the demands of public ministry, Bishop's Convocation also has a special emphasis as an event for rostered leaders and their spouses or partners.
That mix between talking with other pastors you don't see very often and then having time just for ourselves as well.
Joys and challenges are shared over cups of coffee. Ministry challenges are wrestled within small groups and in prayer. We are a church that believes God is calling us into the world together. Eleven congregations in the South Central Synod of Wisconsin are currently part of a 2.5-year Unbinding the Gospel process. St. John's Lutheran Church in Johnson Creek is one of the participating congregations. Unbinding the Gospel was introduced to them by Synod Director for Evangelical Mission, the Reverend Blake Rohr.
I, through some training that I had experienced, met Martha Grace Reese and learned about the amazing results that she's been having. She's been studying this process in other congregations across the country. And I said, that's something worth trying in our synod.
The process has energized leaders in the church who have been waiting for something like this to happen.
It's great to see people's faith deepen and for them to feel that faith is something that they want to share.
We've been praying together, getting acquainted with each other, going to a deeper level, and then practicing with each other and preparing ourselves to go out into the world and invite and be more open with our stories.
The average increase in worship attendance in congregations who participate in the process is nearly 15% in the first 2 years. St. John's believes this will be true for them as well. They are taking their small group experience and expanding that into the community through a congregation-wide year of invitation.
I remember my husband said to me, he says, why is it that when people come into their faith that they have to talk about it all the time? And I said, you know, the funny thing is, I said, when you're excited about something, you want to share it with everybody.